everybody? This is Alice is Happy on YouTube, and today we are going to destroy your negative self-image.
If you've been watching my videos up until this point, you can already tell that I talk about the systems and the institutions that are in place in our world that condition you to be a certain way. I talk about that all the time. And if you notice, when you look at our world and our society, you will notice a lot of negativity is being perpetuated. Whether it be commercials that make you feel not good enough, whether it be mentally, physically, or emotionally, just to make you buy stuff, whether it be music or the news perpetuating negative things, any of these things that exist in our world that influences you in a bigger scale than you might think it does. If you ever feel like you have a negative self-image of yourself, just know that a lot of people do. I do at times. Even me, Ellis is Happy. Yes, I do too. And that's again because of all the institutions and systems that are in place in our world that are conditioning you every single day, every single second of every day for you to have a negative self-image. We're gonna dive straight in to I think, the three main sources of negativity in relation to making you have a negative self-image of yourself. I'm going to phrase these things as questions. So the first question I ask of you is, what are you consuming individually? Examples of this are music, the news, books you read, TV shows that you watch, movies that you watch, websites that you go on all the time. The point here is to assess if the things that you are religiously a part of in terms of consuming are either positive, affect you in a positive way, or a negative way. Just for an example, I notice a lot of news nowadays. The purpose of it, it seems to me, is to create one contrast between who you are and all the other bad people that are out there. It wants to create a sense of there are threats all the time to you and to your life. In my opinion, a lot of news channels nowadays also too create this sense of wanting you to believe in humanity a little less every single time that you watch it. A lot of the time when you watch the news, it's all negative, whether it be about a certain group of people or a certain type of event. And it's not to say that you shouldn't keep up with events that happen in the world, that those things are very important too. I just feel like the news, traditionally, is one of the main sources of negativity that you might be holding. Just to prove to you, if you watch the news, do you typically feel enlightened or happy or just ridiculously joyful afterwards? Or do you usually feel bummed and usually say, oh wow, I can't believe that happened, or oh, I'm so sorry for that group of people, or just in general more sad and more negative, and your outlook on life is a little bit more negative? Which of the two do you usually feel? For music, you need to be very, very aware and very, very careful of what type of music you listen to. Now, I'm not going to say stop listening to certain types of music, but just like the news, the music is instilling things in your mind and putting things in your mind that are negative. And I emphasize on music too, just because music has a weird way of really getting into your head, and you find yourself reciting it, recite the lyrics, and you just say it out of the random. Just be careful of what type of music you're listening to. In general, protect your mind from negative, from ingesting negative, because a lot of things that you are ingesting are very, very negative, and you need to become aware of that, because that ultimately influences what type of image you have of yourself. The second main source of negativity is, I'm going to phrase it in a question, what is your self-talk like? Your self-talk like? Is it more positive and you find yourself calling yourself beautiful, calling yourself handsome, acknowledging that you're smart, acknowledging that you're talented? Or is it more getting down on yourself when you really don't need to? Is it telling yourself repeatedly that you're not good enough? Is it telling yourself that you're not smart enough? Is it telling you, all these negative things? Be aware and do an assessment of whether you are more positive in your self-talk or you are more negative in your self-talk. The first one is what you take in, right? And then the second one is what is happening on the inside. And now we transition to what you're perpetuating, what is coming out of your mouth. Do an assessment again. When you're in a group setting, are you usually talking positively about people and things? Or are you more often than not talking about people and things in a negative way? These three components in your life are always in play, whether you think so or not. To move forward, if you want to gain a more positive self-image, do a reassessment of all of these things. Start ingesting more positive things, more positive news, more positive music, more positive books, whatever it is you're ingesting. Start talking about yourself in a more positive way, whether it be to yourself or when you talk about yourself to other people. And last but not least, start perpetuating more positivity rather than negativity. When you do these things continuously and repeatedly, you will for sure gain a more positive self-image and destroy the negative one that you have right now. That is pretty much it. This is Ellis is Happy on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Send me a message or leave a comment below on any of my videos in what you want to talk about, what you want me to talk about next.
See you next time.